Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. This week I am making a cake, and it's not just any cake, it's going to be a checkerboard cake. Now this video is a review of a kind of the Wilton checkerboard cake set and the cake recipe. Now initially I mostly got the set as I lacked any cake pans that were all the same size, and this pack came with 3 and it was fairly cheap on the Black Friday sale last year. Now I'll start off by saying this video is not sponsored. I did get this pan set with my own money and the recipe is of course just off of their website. Now the cake recipe, I will admit, was a bit of an issue, but we'll get to that later. The link to the original recipe will of course be down in the description, and I will be translating it into English measurements in the description below as well. Now you want to start by preheating your oven to 350 Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius, and grease your baking pans with either some spray or some butter. Then in a large bowl, cream together 2 sticks or 210 grams of room temperature soft butter. Now this has to be soft, otherwise it's not going to cream together properly. And then add in 2 2/3 cup or 500 grams of sugar. Now I know already this is off to a nice healthy recipe using 500 grams of sugar and 220 grams of butter. Then you just want to add in 3 eggs. Now the shell is completely optional, but it will affect your final texture, so I advise not adding in any eggshell. And then add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract or any other flavouring you wish to add. This doesn't have to be a vanilla and chocolate cake. And then in a separate bowl, combine 4 cups or 600 grams of flour with a tablespoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of salt, and then just give that a good mixture to distribute that through the flour nicely. And then alternating, pour that into the creamed butter with 2 cups or 500 ml of milk, alternating to get a nice smooth mixture. Then you just simply want to divide that in half, as one is going to be your chocolate and one is going to be your vanilla. But once again, I'm just doing chocolate and vanilla. You can do any other flavors you wish. And now comes the color for the second batter. Now you can use, once again, any flavor extract you wish and just add some food coloring in just to get a nice color. So you could go for a strawberry essence and then go for some red food coloring and have a white and red cake. But be aware, you will need a bit of extra for the first batter, as that is going to be filling up the most rings. Now if you are making this with chocolate, that is going to be made up with the 100 grams or so of chocolate you're going to be adding to this batter anyway. Now if you are choosing to make a chocolate batter, you want to melt 4 ounces or 100 grams. Now 4 ounces actually works out around 113 grams, but 100 grams will work completely fine. And then you just want to melt that and let it cool before adding to the batter, or you're going to risk slightly cooking the batter, and you really don't want that because that's going to affect your texture. And then give that a good mix together to distribute the chocolate and give it a nice even colour. Now if you do have the Wilton pan set or a similar pan set, you want to get the plastic divider to, divide the batter. Now my issue with this is this divider is not flush to the pan and it doesn't clip onto the side of the pan, so it easily moves around, making the final pattern off center. Now to use the divider, you just place it in the middle and you alternate the batter using chocolate on the outer ring, vanilla on the middle, and then chocolate on the center ring again. Now you only want to half fill the pan, and then you want to pull the divider straight up and you should be left with some nice batter that is separated but still touching each other. And then you want to do this to one other pan, and then in the final pan you want to do it opposite, so it goes vanilla, chocolate, vanilla. Then you want to make sure you remove the plastic divider before placing it in the oven, otherwise it's obviously going to melt. And then bake for 30 to 35 minutes until you can insert a toothpick and it comes out clean. Then remove from the oven and let cool for 10 minutes. then remove from the pan. Now if your cake is a bit stuck to the bottom, I found just giving it a gentle twist by just gently holding the top of the cake and slowly turning until it releases and then let cool. Now to assemble your cake, you can either go simple with some jam and cream in between the layers, or you can frost it with some buttercream. Now if you are going to frost it, this is going to hide the external cake, so it's going to be more of a surprise when someone cuts through the cake to see the checkerboard pattern inside. Now if you want to make a chocolate buttercream frosting, you will need 250 grams of room temperature butter. I know, really going healthy on this one. 250 grams of icing sugar and 200 grams of melted chocolate. And if your buttercream does get a little bit stiff, you can just add in some milk to loosen if needed. Now you just want to simply combine the butter and icing sugar together, add in your melted chocolate. I went for white chocolate personally, just to give it a nice white exterior. And then just started adding some buttercream between the layers to sandwich them together, and then started at the top, added a nice smooth layer, and then went around the sides, filling in any gaps. Now once your cake has been coated, simply place it in the fridge, let the cream set, and then top with any extras you wish. Now personally, I made some fondant roses. I might make a tutorial of these in the future once I've got a bit better at them, but once again, it was a very simple thing to do. Then just simply slice and enjoy, and there you have a nice checkerboard cake that was fairly simple to make. And now for my review part of the video. The cake recipe was great. We've been slowly eating it over the past week. I made it on Monday for a birthday, and it's currently Thursday as of writing and editing this video. I know, cutting it a bit short, but I've had a busy week. But the cake is still good and not dry. Now as for the cake pan set, the cake pans are absolutely amazing. The non-stick coating is really well, and even where you've got a little bit of burnt crispy batter on the edges, that just simply comes off. Now as for the divider, it kind of lets the set down. It feels like it was thrown in as a kind of gimmick for the cake pan set rather than just selling 3 same size cake pans. And you can really easily end up with off-center layers. Now a couple of people in the comments on the website for this recipe did say they made just straight one color cakes and then used the cake divider. Now doing that, you could make 3 different colored layers and then have a 3 pattern checkerboard. Or if you want to have a 2 color checkerboard pattern, you will have to end up making 4 cakes, I do believe, to get that layer, or you're going to end up with a little bit of waste. And then to do that, you just use the divider to cut the whole colored layers and then just insert them into each other to make the layers. Now the problem with that as well is you are going to have separated cake touching each other, so as you cut it, the layers might start to come apart. But if that's not a problem for you, you can always do that instead. And in fact, I might actually try that on the next cake I make using that, but that probably won't be until around April, I believe, because that is when I think the next birthday in this house is. But anyway, that wraps up this week's video. Now sadly, I don't have any footage of the cake being cut, as I was currently working when that happened, as it was a birthday cake. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed as always. If you did, let me know down below with a like and a comment. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe for free weekly cooking content, and I will see you all again next week. Thanks for watching. Hey, Corey. Hi.